There was good news and bad news for the Blue Jays in the first inning of Wednesday's 7-6 loss to the Houston Astros at Minute Maid Park. The good news, the Jays cashed 5 runs against former Cy Young lefty Dallas Keuchel. Houston's Alex Bregman is surrounded by teammates after hitting a walk-off 2-run home run in the 9th to give the Astros a 7-6 victory over the visiting Blue Jays. Bob Levy, Getty Images. The bad news, that early onslaught left the Astros with 9 offensive innings to claw back versus right-hander Marco Estrada. The World Series champs responded with 3 in the bottom of the first, and it was game on as the Jays tried for a winning road trip before coming home for 9. But it was not to be. With Randall Grichuk in the leadoff spot for the first time in his career, the Jays scored 5 first-inning runs on 2 doubles, 2 sac flies, 2 walks and 2 singles. Against Estrada, the Astros responded with 3 of their own, keyed by a 2-run Evan Gattis double before both starters settled down. The article continued below, but the Astros were relentless, scoring 1 in the 8th against Tyler Clippard and 2 in the 9th off Ryan Tepera for the walk-off victory. The winning hit was a 2-run homer by Alex Bregman with 1 out in the 9th. And there was more bad news earlier in the week, news that will have repercussions through the rest of this mediocre season for the Blue Jays. On Tuesday, Josh Donaldson took himself off the field in Dunedin while taking ground balls prior to a rehab game, reporting pain in his left calf. An MRI revealed an acute strain compounding the original calf strain. He will rest on rehab and be re-evaluated in 3 weeks. Basically, he's been shut down. The prognosis takes the third baseman's injury through to the All-Star game at the earliest before he can be cleared and even think about starting a rehab stint in the minors. That date also takes him to 2 weeks before the trade deadline. It may be time to re-evaluate the immediate future of the relationship between Donaldson and the Jays. The fact is, there could be no bigger wrench thrown into what were well-thought-out plans for the Jays and their pending free agent. No longer will there be a pre-deadline trade for the Jays. Nobody will give significant prospects for a rehabbing former MVP. Sure, Donaldson may likely clear waivers just after the deadline and be available for trade in August, but what kind of appeal will he have as a difference-maker to a 2018 contender? There is no chance to prove he can be relied upon to stay healthy, so who would give up a package of prospects, or even one prospect, for 2 months of rain? Article continued below. The Jays are interested in retaining his services, however. They made a substantial offer to Donaldson in January, but it wasn't necessarily the number of years or the dollars he was anticipating as an elite free agent. Including this current season, a year in which he is earning $23 million US. According to industry sources, the Jays' offer would take him through 2022 for a total of around $125 million. That was then. Donaldson thanked the Jays but put faith in himself, which is admirable, to post a monster season in 2018, something that at age 32 would have put him in the lofty annual average value (AAV) neighborhood, not as much, but the same area code, of other 2018-19 free agent studs like Bryce Harper and Manny Machado. The Jays, unlike their hastily made and wrong-headed decision 2 years ago to pull back further offers from Edwin Encarnacion post-2016, let it be known to Donaldson they were willing to revisit in November, armed with the belief that the market would drag his expectations back toward their offer. Both sides were gambling. Now, following the injuries, both sides must revise strategies. Assuming Donaldson finishes the current year with the Jays, they will most likely make a qualifying 1-year offer that will be in the area of $18 million. This is going to be Donaldson's one kick at the free agent can of big money. If he ends the season with around 100 games played, should he then think about negotiating a one-year deal back with the Jays for an amount somewhere between the qualifier and his current $23 million salary? Yes. He would be gambling that a healthy 2019 with big numbers at age 33 could produce more in free agency than anything he could negotiate after this year's disappointment. As for the Jays, since their winter negotiation with Donaldson, they have witnessed the rapid progress of Vladimir Guerrero Jr. at third, who will certainly be ready for the majors at the latest by opening day, 2019. Combine that with Donaldson's struggles to stay healthy and add the fact the Jays hold an easily manageable option year on first baseman Justin Smoke, and there seems no way they will not downsize the earlier offer they made in good faith to bringer of rain. There is now more pressure on Donaldson. Why should the Jays settle on a short-term deal with Donaldson? Do they believe one more season of Donaldson is worth more than a compensatory draft choice after the second round they would receive if he signs elsewhere? Well, yeah. There is a clear and present danger in leaving the original offer on the table. Donaldson's $23 million salary is already tied for 12th all-time MLB in annual average value among position players. At the 14 players ahead are tied in annual earnings, there have been more bad misses than hits in terms of money well spent. The top 15 contract misses that ended with teams suffering buyer regret include Cecil Fielder, Ryan Howard, Josh Hamilton, Albert Pujols, Jason Hayward and Chris Davis. The listing of solid contracts from inside that elite AAV group is led by Mike Trout, Jose Altuve and Giancarlo Stanton. The Jays are already reeling from Troy Tulowitzki's remaining 2 years. At least give Donaldson a one-year chance to prove in 19 that he can stay healthy. Don't roll the dice until after 2019, when the organization's plans to compete on a sustainable basis may have become clearer. That seems like the best plan for Donaldson and the best plan for the Jays. But you know what they say about best laid plans.